What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. My name is Mike Wellman, and this is the MMA Word Mixed Martial Arts Podcast for Tuesday, July 22nd, 2014. Coming at you on a Tuesday this week because I couldn't record the show early enough to get it out on Monday. So, lots of UFC action this past week. We had the amazing card from Atlantic City on Wednesday. I want to definitely talk about that on today's show. Lots of finishes, lots of TKOs. Really impressive performance by Donald Cerrone in the main event. Also, the rabid Irish UFC fans brought it on Saturday night in Dublin. All the Irish guys won at the fight night in Dublin on Saturday on the Fight Pass card. So we're going to talk about both of those events. Sorry if I sound a little bit nasally today. I vacuumed my apartment. I have a dust allergy, and some of the dust got up in my nose, and I tried my best to fix the audio on the keyboard, on the mixer here, to try to disguise it, to make it sound like I got a little more bass in my voice, but I couldn't really find a good thing, so I just put it back to the normal setting. You're going to have to deal with it. So yeah, if I blow my nose incessantly on the podcast, that is why. So, what do we got lined up for today's show? We are going to be recapping UFC Fight Nights 45 and 46. They're both in the books. I'm going to be talking about who had the most dominant performances and where everybody goes from here for those two events, especially Donald Cerrone and Conor McGregor, the two stars of the week. Also going to be talking about some comments Dana White made in the media scrum in Ireland about Nate Diaz. The Nate Diaz saga continues, with Nate not wanting to fight until he gets more money, talking crap about the UFC on Twitter. Dana White fires back, he says he's not a needle mover, so we're going to talk about that. Also, Ronda Rousey won an ESPY award this week, so we are going to talk about that also and why it's important for women's MMA and the UFC. Mighty Mouse versus Chris Carriasso was booked for UFC 177. A lot of people didn't like that fight. I think it's not that bad, and I will tell you why today on the show. What else? So, Bellator 123 added a whole bunch of fights. King Mo, Czech Congo, and get this, Bobby Lashley is going to be at Bellator 123. Are you kidding me? We're going to talk about the fights added to Bellator 123, how that card is shaping up, and how it stacks up against the UFC event going down the same night. And then we're going to close out the show with a preview of the epic UFC on Fox 12 that goes down this Saturday, featuring a main event of Robbie Lawler versus Matt Brown for the welterweight #1 contender spot. I am pumped for that fight. You should be too. It's on free TV. Don't miss it. If you have a job, call out. If you've already called out, quit your job, quit your life, and watch this fight. So yeah, that's what we got lined up on today's show. And let's get right into it. All right. So yeah, I did try to mess around with some of the audio, and I don't remember. It's not on my end here. It's not coming in too good, so sorry if it does actually sound bad. Sorry about that. I'll fix it for next week. So anyways, UFC Fight Night 45 in Atlantic City. How good did Donald Cerrone look in the main event of that fight against Jim Miller? He essentially finished Miller twice in that fight. He caught him with a toe kick to the body. Initially, Big Dan Miragliotta thought it was a low blow, so he, did what he does when there's a low blow. He separated the fighters, gave Miller a chance. I think even Miller admitted to him that it was not a low blow. And then once Dan Miragliotta realized that it was a legal shot to the midsection, he, immediately asked Miller if he was able to continue, and then, restarted the fight. A lot of people were calling that a really bad call. I don't think it was that bad of a call because, what can you do when you make a mistake? The only thing you can really do is recover from it. So a lot of these referees walk around acting like they didn't just make a huge mistake, Like I recently rewatched the first fight with Nick Lentz and Charles Oliveira. I think it was like UFC on Versus 4, something like that. It was a while ago. But the referee, Oliveira, caught him with a ridiculous illegal knee, and the referee just sort of, everybody knew it was illegal. The crowd was booing, and the referee didn't even flinch about the illegal knee. And then even the commission director came into the cage and was basically reprimanding the ref, and the ref was like, I was going to stop it, but they kept fighting, so he was acting like a fool. And that's what happens most of the time. When a ref makes a mistake, they try to cover it up, try to act like they didn't make a mistake. What can you do, like I said, other than recover? So I thought Dan Miragliotta did a good job. Once he realized it wasn't a low blow, he restarted the fight. So they had to keep going. And, So Cerrone finished him again. Basically, the toe kick really, really did some damage to Miller. He never really came back from it. And then Cerrone went high with a kick, dropped him, and the end was nigh. He finished him with some punches, and it was a ridiculously impressive win for Donald Cerrone. I was picking Jim Miller in that fight, you know. I don't have anything against Cerrone. I'm not a friend or fan of Jim Miller, but I just really thought that Miller was going to be able to get him. Cerrone's, I think, on a 4-fight win streak now. He's as close to the UFC title as he's ever been. So he continues to get better. He fights a lot. He fought like 4 times in 2012. Or no, was it 4 times in 2011, 4 times in 2012, twice in 2013, and then he's already fought 3 times this year. So the dude fights a lot, and he's definitely moving up the ranks. High-level opponent in Jim Miller. He just decimated him. Like I said, basically finished him twice. So huge win for Cerrone. I would say he's in a number 1 contender position as far as a title eliminator fight. Wait, did I say 4 times in 2013? I meant to say he fought 4 times in 2012. Or no, 2 times in 2012, 4 times in 2013. That's what I meant to say. Anyways, so just in case you caught that. So yeah, he's already fought 3 times LOL in 2014. So Cerrone was a done deal to face Khabib Nurmagomedov. He was going to face Khabib Nurmagomedov at UFC 178. The contracts were signed by both fighters. According to Dana White, 20 minutes after the deal was done, Nurmagomedov blew out his knee, and he's now out indefinitely. Wow. I wonder who they'll give Cerrone now. That was the fight to make. The winner of Miller Cerrone versus Khabib. Khabib is out. I mean, maybe they give him Josh Thompson if he beats Bobby Green on Saturday. But I know that Cerrone is definitely 1 win away from a title fight, especially now that Khabib is out. So yeah, what does this mean for Jim Miller? Miller only loses to the truly elite. Cowboy proved that he is among that class, but at the same time, not a good night for Jim Miller. He really got put away in that fight. I figured it was just going to be a war, and it was pretty dominant performance by Cerrone. So I don't know what Jim Miller needs to do to be able to get over that hurdle of beating the best in the world, because he can beat pretty much everybody